CUMS tonight on BBC One. At 7 o'clock, Tomorrow's World includes a look at the dangers of driving.
Barry, I've commandeered a vehicle.
The old trick, eh? Eat the telly before I get a chance to nick you.
It's a toaster.
Dalek, you have been defeated. Surrender. You have failed.
Insufficient data.
Is this world protected? So you're not the first lot to have come here. Oh, there have been so many. And what you've got to ask is, what happened to them? Hello, I'm the doctor.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. He is the doctor, and I think what it's saying that, you know, in this very divisive world we live in, it's one of the few things we can actually all agree on. Matt Smith was indeed the doctor. Will he be the doctor again? I guess we're going to find out in about 3 weeks, aren't we? Well, more than that. I mean, we're not going to know till the December 9th. Will he be the doctor again? I would like to hope there's more people coming back than David Tennant, wouldn't you? I don't know. So the Whovember has been released, and there's been highs and lows. We're going to be talking about that a lot today. Much more importantly, that's something I'm much more excited about. My wife has just come home. She was late home for two reasons. One, she stopped to get McDonald's. One of the great things about living in Israel, kosher McDonald's everywhere. Like one of the times we went to took the kids to England or the States, so it was like getting to, because they were brought up in Israel, getting to understand the idea that not everywhere is kosher. Like very few places are kosher. It just did their head in. Like McDonald's, like, no, baby, no. So that's one of the good McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's. They're all kosher, right? So that's one of the nice things. But the bigger deal, right? Bigger deal while she's late home is she's got our tummy arbor back. What is a tummy arbor? You may want to know, right? Tummy arbor is something that's been lost in limbo because of the Hamas war. Those Hamas bastards. One thing, raping and murdering and cutting the heads of babies. The other thing, keep me away from my tummy arbor. What is a tummy arbor? I can hear you wondering, right? I can hear you wondering. It's a machine, right? It's a machine that dispenses water, either hot water or cold water. Now, why do we like this tummy arbor machine? Well, firstly, they gave the company, we have a subscription, so the company gave us a loaner, and it was a piece of shit. Oh my God. It's like the calling thing didn't work, right? The calling thing didn't work. And the other thing is, it didn't have a Sabbath mode on it, right? So on Sabbath, you're not allowed to cook. So if you have a Sabbath mode on your tummy arbor, right? Normally what people used to do is get these big urns, like, and set, well, which is what we've been doing for the last couple of months. And then that way you can take hot water, and there's always got hot water in it. You can make yourself a cup of tea. Going to become very useful during the winter months, which I don't know. They should be here soon. It's been bloody schwitzing over here. Anyway, so, you know, the company, it stopped working, right? It stopped working. We called up the company, and they came and picked it up, right? And they gave us this loaner. Piece of shit, okay? Genuinely, a piece of shit tummy arbor, right? And then the war started. Well, first they procrastinated, right? And then the war started, and they're like, no, we're not doing it. Well, we were all like that, right? We're all like that. That's earlier. The next guy we got to get in is my dryer repair person. We got a little catch on the door. It keeps coming up. I want him to fix it. Please fix it. Why? Because I had to air dry my towel today, and oh my God, it's like drying myself with sandpaper. Anyway, the point of the tummy arbor is this. It wouldn't keep the cold water cold, and we couldn't use it for hot water on Sabbath. It was basically useless, this loaner. So we've had all these bottles of water we've been keeping in the fridge. So we have cold water when we want cold bloody water, right? Oh God, it's been such a pain in the ass. Oh, I want you to know how I suffer, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to know how I suffer, which is why I share these things with you. Anyway, I've been a bit sick today. Honestly, been a bit of a fog for the last couple of days, ever since like the real ground invasion of Gaza has begun. Because, you know, yeah, that's my son in combat, right? Like directly in combat. which freaked me out quite a bit. Although, when was it? Tuesday, maybe? Tuesday, they somebody just tweeted me about the timeless child. We're going to talk about it, right? Look at here. 1 second. Wait. Let me respond. Where was it? What I lit? Was it? Oh no, was it a message? 1 second. Talking about it right on this stream. Yes, we are going to talk about the timeless child and the future Doctor Who. That is going to happen, okay? On the stream now. Actually, you know what I was doing before I came on, before I started? I was in the dance stream from a couple of days ago, which had which have them all talking about the demons. I'm only about like half hour into the demons bit, not demons. One of the pearls of wisdom I learned was that it's pronounced demons. Thank you for Stephen Nooner here. Let me just give him the link. Doink. Doink. Oh, there you go. Fine. Where was I? Yeah, so I was been a bit before. But again, yeah, the ground invasion of Gaza has begun, and like, yeah, that's when people are going to start dying. Like, the people on my side are going to start dying, and it's not. Oh God, it makes me so. Like all the screaming and whining about the civilian casualties, which are we're going to talk about significantly less than anything any other country has been able to manage, right? Significantly lower, and for God's sake, Hamas, just surrender. Right, you again. If you want, they're like, oh, we must have a ceasefire. Oh, humanitarian crisis. Well, it's pretty simple. Okay, here's what you do: Hamas, surrender, give back everybody, give back all the hostages, right, and every missile, and every bullet, and every gun, right, unconditionally surrender. We're a nuclear power. I don't know how much I can say that to you, right? You completely outgunned. You're crying like bitches constantly. And frankly, the whole world kind of said, unless you want, somebody who doesn't like Jews, and it kind of is a barometer of how you feel about Jews, this thing, right? Unless you're somebody who doesn't like Jews, just crying like bitches is so freaking much. Anyway, my son, so he phones us, I think on Tuesday, right? And said, yeah, okay, I'm giving my phone in, I can't give it. So then I was like, yeah, I'm kind of like out of it most of that day. And then the next day, my wife said, my son called. I'm like, what? How did he call? Well, turned out. And this is how I spent like 48 hours literally, on Spilkers. I'll give you a bit of a Jewish word for you, right? 48 hours. Turned out that they switched him into a different tank, which broke. And so he spent the last 24 hours fixing his tank, right? He must have been pissed. He must have been frothing at the mouth to go in. I don't know. I hope they stay safe. And then I keep hearing about, rockets attacking the north, and that's where somebody, my other son is. It's like, I don't want to know. And thankfully, casualties have been very low so far, right? Which, man, I think it was last stream when I saw like the first 11, 12 people, soldiers, and like, man, each one of them, right? Each one of them is like a knife in the heart. It really is. It's like, we don't approach life in the same way as Hamas, right? Life means something to us, right? And it just doesn't to them. Like, the reason their people are in dire straits, right? The reason their people are in dire straits is because they couldn't give a shit about their people, frankly, right? Their people are like everything else, a tool, right? A tool to the aim of destroying Israel. And that's it. They use everything to destroy Israel. There's a clip. I didn't grab it because it's in Arabic, right? And it's like, it's in Arabic. You can't read. It's like, you can't really tell. Like, I'm seeing lots of videos of people posting of Israeli settlers attacking Palestinians with their armies help and throwing them out their homes. And like, there's this insane worldview. There's a lot of insane worldviews, but there's an insane worldviews that Israeli settlers, which I am, right? I am a settler, right? I live in a place called Karney Shomron. It is in what people will call the occupied territories, the West Bank. I call it Judea and Samaria, right? Quite frankly. But if it wasn't Jews here, it would be called disputed territory. But it's because it's Jews. Jews they have to be treated differently, baby, and it's the weirdest thing. But they are right. But they are. As we will be going. So there's all this stuff people believe, and they believe it with so much ferocity that they believe, like, firstly, settlers go around and they indiscriminately attack and they shoot Palestinians for giggles. No, we don't. I mean, yeah, look, I'm sure there's an element of out control use, but like, it's no more than where you live, and probably less so than where you live. Right? It's not something that it's okay. But there's a concept in Judaism called Chilul Hashem, right? Which is when you're a desecration for the name of God. And like a lumpet, if you're a religious Jew, you represent Judaism, right? And look, especially you've got the big like ringlets things, the big keeper, this one. You represent Judaism, and essentially you represent what we view as the will of God, right? You have got to hold yourself to a higher standard at all freaking times, right? And so there's really no, I would say, little to no tolerance where I live or anybody I know. Really wouldn't have any tolerance about it. But I remember during, was it the 2014? Was it 2014 when those 3 boys were kidnapped and murdered by Hamas? And it was my kids' bat mitzvah or bar mitzvah, I can't remember which kid it was, and we didn't have any, and everyone was waiting to go into Gaza then and do what they're doing now. They didn't have the will to them, but like, and people were pissed. I'm glad they're doing it now. Also, Obama was the president, which would have been tricky. Anyway, who wasn't so pro-Israel? I remember there was a during that time when tensions were very, very high, there was a Palestinian kid who was kidnapped and murdered, right? I mean, tortured and murdered, like burnt to death. It was horrific, right? And they said settlers did it, right? Settlers did it, and I'm like, we're all like, off. No, we did. Don't be ridiculous, right? Now, turns out it was like a mentally ill guy who was like co-opted by these pieces of shit. To do it, essentially, right? But man, the shame, the palpable shame across not just settlement, Israel, the palpable shame that we would have done. One of us would have done that. It wasn't like we're handing out candies, right? So I just don't think we're of the temperament to do this. But again, I was watching Ben Shapiro at Oxford Union and believe the most evil. They just assume Jews are evil, right? That's really what it's down. They just assume that Jews are evil, right? What's this I just got forwarded? Hang on. I think it's a friend of mine just got engaged. A friend of my daughter's just got engaged. Very nice, very nice. But like, they just assume Jews are evil, right? It goes right back to blood libels, right? When they said Jews use Christian baby blood in their religious rituals of Passover. So when they got chased out down some pitchforks, people felt justified in doing that, right? They felt very justified in doing that because they figured Jews were kidnapping babies and using their blood. It would like that would be a reason to be pissed off. I would agree with you about that, right? But it's not true. Like, so the idea that Israel was a colonizing army and came in and pushed out all the Palestinians and performed atrocities upon them to create this land. It's absolute nonsense. And they believe it. They believe it with so much fervor. I mean, like, honestly, they keep saying genocide. Dude, it wouldn't take us 75 nightmare that was. Oh, it's without fail. Like, it's without fail gonna. I've worked out what it is actually. There are two routers. There's one that's an extender, and there's one that's the initial routers of the wall. Oh, and the extender one is dodgy, right? That's the extender one is dodgy. Oh, I can't remember where I freaking was now. Man, it's annoying. Okay, let's work this out. What are we talking about? War, probably. Oh yeah, my son. So anyway, yeah, he calls us, right? Taking our phones away, going in. But they can't say we're going in. They can't say anything, right? But then I was just so yeah. So he spent the whole day getting his tank fixed. He must have been pissed, right? He's got to be in by now, right? Right. So like it's man, it is just like I know you just stare into space a lot, right? This has been an unproductive time for me. It's the best way to describe it. Let's a couple of stories that I want to look at. Hamas rockets hit Kiryat Shimona. I know Kiryat Shimona. I've been there many times. Idea: fuel for Gaza hospitals if needed. Okay, I mean, honestly, it looks like IDF needs to go in, capture hospitals. Wow, what's that? Go in, capture hospitals, and then they can control the fuel. But yeah, this is something that maybe feel good today. Idea: fend off nighttime Hamas ambush as battalion commander killed in Gaza. I didn't know the battalion commander. Terror operatives tried to take over an armored vehicles during intense hour-long battles, like a 3-hour battle I heard. Army says it's using AI to identify thousands of fresh targets as Gaza rockets attack slow. That if they're attack slow, that means they're running. That means we're starving them out. Oh, we could get this over. I don't know. I think it could take a few months, but we could get this over quicker. Fierce battles continue to rage on the Gaza Strip on Thursday with troops fighting off a vicious overnight Hamas ambush and the military saying it was using artificial intelligence. Okay, we just said that. The Israeli Defense Forces on Thursday afternoon announced the death of senior officer during the fighting in Gaza, bringing the military deaths total to 18. And 333 is the beginning of the war. Well, listen, the first 300 and what was it? 18 minus 33 minus 18. It's first 315. You caught us by surprise. Nah, we're doing better now. The army to ground forces and tanks clashed with Hamas terror cells in northern Gaza Strip overnight, killing dozens of operatives in what the Times of Israel has learned was an intense and chaotic midnight battle that raged for over 3 hours following. And yeah, I actually saw one of the people who were in that battle, right? Targeting soldiers from the Golani's 13th Battalion. Golani is infantry. They also have tanks. In a statement made Thursday morning, IDF troops said the Golani Infantry Brigade had taken part in prolonged battles against Hamas terrorists who had fired missiles, set off explosive devices, and hurled grenades at forces. Hamas gunmen tried to ambush the Israeli force at midnight, emerging from tunnels and attacking them with anti-tank missiles, mortars, and drones. That they failed is fantastic, right? They tried to enter armored personnel carriers and take control of them. More than 20 terrorists were believed to have killed. Yes! And you know what? I don't weep for a freaking second, right? Not for a freaking second, right? That's why I keep wanting to put on that bit from Inglourious Basterds at the beginning of the, on the intro. Said, I want my scalps, my Nazi scalps, right? Yeah, look. The quicker Hamas is destroyed, the better the world will be, right? The world will be. At the end of the fighting, dozens of terrorists were killed, said the IDF. The military said the troops of the Nahal infantry also encountered a group of Hamas gunmen who opened fire on them and directed an aircraft to strike and kill a terror cell. So look, I mean, we're doing quite good, but man, the bitching and whining, makes you crazy. Makes you freaking crazy, mate. I'm like enough of your whining. First, let's hear a bit of Alan Dershowitz.
to kill combatants. It has the right to kill the head of Hamas in central Gaza. And hopefully it did so. And that was good. And if civilians died, that's the fault of Hamas. Let's be very, very clear about that. Let's assume Hamas is correct. And
I mean, this is like that you've got to keep, whenever you're in the pub, whenever people are talking, whenever they, oh, it's out of control. Yeah, every civilian dying, every Palestinian civilian, every civilian dying is on the head of Hamas, right? Right, and it's based on bollocks. It's based on bollocks that Jews are evil and want to destroy everyone.
7,000 people, 6,000 people have been killed. Probably 2/3 of them are not civilians, but let's assume 1,000 or 2,000 real civilians were killed. How does that compare to what the United States did after 9/11? The United States went into Iraq, we went into Afghanistan. Hundreds of thousands of civilians died. In Iraq alone, the estimate is between 270 and 330 civilians died. Did we see demonstrations in the street? Did we see students marching? Did we see these kinds of...
No, of course we bloody didn't, right? Of course we bloody didn't, because it's Jews, right? And we have sugarcoated this for years and years. It's Jews. They don't like Jews defending themselves, right? They do not like Jews being able to defend themselves, right? They hate that, right? You know, we should be lambs to the slaughter. I'm sorry, mate, that's over, right? That is over. Right at the bottom line. I'm trying to download this next thing for you. That's what I say.
Attacks at...
They say 75 years occupation, 75 years of Jew hatred based on another few thousand years before.
The United Nations? No. The United States had a job to do. It had to get rid of ISIS. It had to get rid of Al-Qaeda.
I mean, in all fairness, it was Trump that did that.
And it did. And civilians paid the price. But it was a war.
Yeah, look, this is what war looks like. I don't know. Stop crying like bitches because you started a war that you can't possibly win, right? You cannot possibly win this war. There we go. There's this as well.
The pain of Gaza, the pain of Israel. Everyone is suffering.
So this was cut out from, I think, the BBC interview. And you can see why, right? You can totally see why. I'm trying to download this video. How do I do this? How is it this one? Delete, react, message. Oh, this is a great video. How am I going to download it? God, I hate WhatsApp. I just tell you how much I freaking hate WhatsApp, right? I can never work out how to freaking use it. So message someone? No. If I press this, is there a... What's this? No, that's the wrong button. There's no right button to download this with. Oh, I freaking hate WhatsApp. I really do. Okay, genuinely do. Maybe if I forward it, I'll be able to down. Oh, one second. Hang on. I bet it's on my phone. I bet it's on my phone. Let's see if I got it on my phone. That would be helpful. Unless, yeah, I got to probably play it on my phone and then I can download it. There you go. Because this is actually worth the hassle. Okay, so. How do I do this? Share? No. Save. Is it saved? Did it just save? Well, that seemed easy. Oh, it did! Get out of here! Okay. So now I do share. Doink. Oh! This is totally worth the effort. Right? Totally. Oh, yeah, I forgot in the middle of playing this.
There's a real culture of atrocities that is coming forward with a whole army called ISIS, Hamas, and Al-Qaeda. It was in 9/11. It's in beheading people in Europe. It's in torturing and doing what the Houthis are doing down south. It's all over the region.
And everybody hates Herzl, right? Herzl's a dick. That's who this guy is.
Either we fight them or not. Exactly. That took a long time until Winston Churchill took over, after he threatened and alerted against the Nazi regime. We paid the price. We caved in. We enabled again and again and again to have ceasefires. And what happened? What happened? The highest amount of Jews killed since World War II, since the Holocaust, was on 7th of October. It's 8 times more in proportional numbers than 9/11. What else do you expect us to do? How do we protect ourselves as a family member in a family of nations.
Well, you got to understand, you're a Jew, and you don't have the right to be there in the first place, you evil occupier. So you should just roll over and die. Maybe they'll kill you quickly, or they won't just cut your heads off the babies.
What's our right here? We don't want to inflict pain. We tell people move out. But we have to get these terrorists and get them out.
Yeah, and we are doing that, and it's going to cost us a lot of young lives, right? And it's a sacrifice we're making for the fucking world. And that's the way I look at it. It really is. It really is. And look, this is pushing everything to a head. Like, there's another one of these insane Palestinian pro-Palestinian protests. Here, let's have a look at what ones. Well, is it Jew hatred, or is it they just don't like the policies of Israel?
Upper at a Free Palestine rally to see what they're really about.
Hey, how would you describe a Jew? They're devils. Who's at fault?
The Jews. The Jews. Always been a problem.
So if they do take Palestine, where do the 12 million Jews go?
Go to hell. Yeah, that's the literal slogan.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
That is a literal slogan.
Okay, if we free Palestine, where do the Jews go?
Hey, go back to Brooklyn, bitch! Shout out to Kanye. He was right.
How do I know that you are...
That I'm not a Jew?
Get the fuck out of my face! Get out of my...
The Hamas, with the action they've taken, it's not a terrorist attack.
I am queer for Palestine, yes.
What do you think about the argument when people are saying in Gaza they kill gay people?
It's very unsafe to be queer here, too.
You have no idea what unsafe means, darling.
But they're not actually killing gay people for being gay by law, right? The way it is in Gaza?
But why do we keep going back to, like, Gaza?
Why is
Because you're there for Gaza, you dumb cunt.
there such a basis for them to have a homeland? Nobody else has a homeland.
Where are you from, if you don't mind me asking?
My family's from Afghanistan.
In Afghanistan, by the way, so that's a Muslim country, right?
Predominantly, yes.
So would you consider that your homeland?
Yes, so I guess I do have a claim over that, but you can't claim Israel.
No, because they're Jews.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, look, I don't really want to get into the grisly details of what happened, but I think it's important because we're literally looking at Holocaust denial in process, right? And it really is. And it's just an inversion. The Israelis have killed, indiscriminately bombed and killed babies. No, we don't. No, we fucking don't. So this is when members of Knesset, that's the Israeli government, they viewed footage from the body cams the sick fuck Hamas people were all wearing because they're sick fucks, obviously, it was like these people aren't pussies, but people come out crying, vomiting. And this is just finding out what happened. So, once I think it's been playing on my mind all week, and obviously because it's awful, one of the worst things you can possibly imagine. They, one of the people, and they filmed this, right? They went into a house, they shot the father, right? They took a baby. They didn't kill the baby. The ones who had their throat cuts, they got off easy, right? They didn't kill the baby at first. They put it in an oven. They literally put the baby in an oven and baked it to death while the mother screamed. And then they held her down and they took turns raping her. And they filmed it, right? These are the sick fucks we're dealing with. And I'm sorry, there's no moral fucking equivalency. There is no moral equivalency whatsoever, right? Honestly, if it's like we will fight to every last man, every last woman, every last everything to destroy the world of Hamas. That's just what's going to happen, right? And I'm sorry, you don't like seeing what wars look like, right? You don't like seeing what wars look like. But just this insane ignorance, right? This is insane ignorance about everything going on. So this really shows us up very nicely. This guy asked if you'll sign a petition to free Palestine.
Petition to help Hamas free Palestine. You're all in? All right. Oh yeah, you're in? Easily. I just have to read terms and conditions just so you know what you're signing. Okay. By supporting Hamas freeing Palestine, you agree to the following. You agree that every Jew, Christian, and non-Muslim in the world must be slaughtered.
I don't know about that one.
You endorse making homosexuality punishable by jail or death.
Oh no, I don't.
You don't agree with that? You believe Iran should use Palestinians as puppets to spread radical jihad and destroy the West? No?
No.
I'm glad I read
What happened to free Palestine? What happened from the river to the sea, baby?
the terms and agreements. You support strict Sharia law, which bans women from showing their knees, hair, playing sports in public, not being able to travel without a man's permission.
I'm sorry,
Not interested? Oh, okay. You want a terrorist group that beheads babies and rapes girls to replace only democracy in the Middle East?
Not sure that's something to support.
So if I sign, I agree with this.
Yes. Baby, no. No? Okay.
Well, no, thank you.
No.
I don't support any of these two things that you just read to me, so then I won't be able to sign this then.
That's fair.
Yeah,
thanks for not signing. Yeah, all right.
Right, and that's the thing. This intense ignorance, right? This intense ignorance. What was it? Ignorance, what? Spawning pure, undiluted anti-Semitism, right? Pure, undiluted anti-Semitism. Look at this from Harvard. Disgraceful. I mean, literally disgraceful. Right, a Jewish guy just walking around, and they're like throwing things in front of him to stop him walking. Like, and that's what we're going to keep. I mean, like, again, and these people are on the right side of history, right? It's disgusting, right? And Douglas Murray is really nailing it because he said it's so shameful that Jews don't feel safe in London, right? And they don't, right? They don't. But look, my message to any Jew living in England: it's time to leave, mate. It's time to. What? Why would I say that? Well, look, this is what your police is doing. They're tearing down the posters, right? It's like, you know, because they don't want passions to become inflamed, right? They don't. It's it. I mean, look, this is Sadiq Khan, right? This is Sadiq Khan through and bloody through, isn't it? I mean, like, again, oh no, inclusivity, and here we have a front page headline, quite rightly, right? Anti-Israel actors ripped out. We looked at this video. Hostage posters in petty acts of hate, not a shred of decency, named and shamed. Well, at least shamed. Good for them, right? Good for them. Where else is that? This is this seems to be kind of like the the tone of the coverage.
A bomb, I'll make a bomb. Just let me put the timer. Look at what is done to me. Me? Horrendous attack indeed. But a mega war crime of unprecedented proportions. He blew himself up. So I'm stupid, eh? Now that
you kind of
is racist, you know. What? I will slaughter him. Now I'm afraid that's improper. Burn his babies? Impolite. Rape
over jihad, that's fine.
him. He threw the rockets on himself, not my fault. Ah, really? And who made this bomb? You did. And who shot this bomb? You did. And who left Gaza 18 years ago, leaving it completely under my hands? I did. Aha!
Again, look at what a joke the BBC is. Like, literally, I didn't notice that was unbelievable, the BBC. Always the Jews' fault. Always the freaking Jews' fault. Unfreaking believable. And again, like, yeah, this, but this seems to be a, was it like this seems to be the point where England, I think the Western world is forced to ask, do we share values with a large population that's joined us in the last 20, 30 years? Do we share values? You know, when Peter Capaldi was saying, "Oh, everybody hates war," and everyone in Zygon invasion, Zygon inversion. such a cop-out, right? Such a freaking cop-out. I mean, look at the sort of things that are going on in London. And like this just complete disregard for London, right? I mean, look at this.
Ceasefire now! Stop bombing Gaza! Ceasefire!
Stop bombing Gaza! Oh no! Yeah, because listen, if a terrorist who has raped and murdered children, burn them alive, right? If they've done that, then and they hide behind children, it's all free, baby. It's all free. Fucking more.
Stop bombing Gaza!
And I have to tell you, this is a litmus test if you hate Jews or not, right? This guy hates Jews.
Ceasefire now! Stop bombing Gaza! Ceasefire now! Stop.
And why they will hide their fucking faces, cowards? Oh, so much cowardice, right? So much cowardice. Although Yemen has gotten the war, but they got in the war in a really weird way, right? In a really, really weird, bizarre way. They released a music video, which I have to tell you, this doesn't scare me, right? This doesn't scare me at all. See, back green screen. I mean, really, mate? You want to give it a go, you pussies? Okay, then. Fucking Yemen. Oh, look, you got patches. Yeah, it's okay. We'll take those off your dead bodies. Oh, look, there's 7 of them. Oh, no. They're talking about Al-Quds, which is the Dome on the Rock. I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to make an insane prediction. I'm going to make a prediction that, tell you, my predictions often come true, right? I had it was so frustrating, right? So incredibly frustrating. The central part of Judaism is loving each other, right? It's having love and respect for each other, each fellow Jew. You view them as your family, right? So talking shit is completely verboten. The former rabbi got himself in trouble. He made some dumb decisions, right? And his response was to go headlong into a public desecration of these laws, right? Which I found disturbing in of itself. But what I found really disturbing, right? What I found really disturbing is that first he had a little group of people who are like flag waving for him, right? This is going to tie into the war in a second. But the whole rest of the town, bar a few, right, couldn't give a shit. Could not have given a shit whatsoever. And I think my town is somewhat representative of, I don't think we're better, I don't think we're worse, right? But man, we had this idyllic little town with a little shul, a little synagogue where everybody was felt happy to go in. But they bullied out a whole bunch of people, right, with this talking shit about it. So I was running around like my hair was on fire saying, we got to say this was wrong, right? We got, we can't. If we say nothing, right, we say nothing, that's us saying we couldn't give a shit about what God wants. So like the central burning heart of our religion. Now, I think there's dire consequences. And all people heard was, because this guy came after me in a big way, was like, Tzvi wants revenge. Tzvi's crazy. Tzvi's got a grudge. No! Fucking morons, right? I was running around saying that I think we should treat God's Torah, God's Bible, right? God's law as if it's worth something, as if it's meaningful, as if it matters. And the reason why I think we should do that is because if we don't, we are probably, either in this world or next, and certainly in this world, going to get an awful, awful, awful punishment from God. And that's what I believe this was, right? And I get it. I don't think the whole thing happened because of my little community. I think my community is representative. I think the same thing happened lots of places. And, you know, and now do you care about your fellow Jew? Yeah, now they fucking care. Maybe we could have done it with a few less people being raped and murdered. Maybe we could have done it with a few less babies' throats being cut. A few less people with their heads being cut off. A few less people having their legs cut off. They're fucking pigs, they are. right. But no. But like it's had the desired result, right? It has had the desired result. From what I can see, is actually we'll end with this. But first, a little bit of gratuitous IDF pawns. Let's see them in action. Like, stop whining about all the civilian casualties. Just surrender. If we are overwhelming you with our massive force, just fucking surrender.
Oh,
that guy. Yeah, that's part of the Orchids division. That's the canine division. Man, those people, those dogs are incredible, right? They are wonderful. So again, that's probably where my side is. Hey, so last bit about current affairs, and the reason that I'm really talking about this because I want you to talk to your friends, right? I want you to talk to other people to keep them informed. This is a informational war more than anything else. They're talking about a refugee camp being hit. It wasn't a refugee camp. Okay, I mean technically it was, but it was like had buildings in it. It was part of a town called Jajalia. Was it Jajalia? I think. Yeah, they're gonna say over here. Where is it? Just had this right. I just saw it. Right? I literally just saw it. No, not that. Oh, there you go. Yeah, this one.
On the ground now, as you can see, we've got our military analyst, Professor Michael Clark, with us. Professor Clark, great to have you with us. So, look, 24 hours on from...
By the way, they had somebody on GB News who say, oh, Ukraine was so much easier because we had somebody we can get behind in Zelensky. We can't really... Fuck off. You just don't like Jews, darling.
That strike on the refugee camp, Jabalia. What do we know about the situation? What's that telling us about the way the war's being prosecuted?
Yeah, it tells us quite a lot, actually. Jabalia camp is just an extension. The refugee camp is an extension of Jabalia, the town. It's where the town just sort of becomes even less planned and more chaotic. And a lot of people were there. And the damage that was done is pretty obvious. I mean, we look at the devastation. There were 4 craters. I mean, this is a vision just of one crater, but there were 4 craters. You can see it on other images, very close together. There were 4 missiles. They were very accurate, and they went straight through. There's not a lot of explosive devastation in the buildings above, because essentially these buildings are suffering from an earthquake that takes place below. And the weapon that has done it is the GBU-28, or sometimes the GBU-72. These are American-supplied, American-based.
Okay, GBU is a bad acronym. You want to get something a little bit cooler, like, you know, Death Tunneler. I don't know, Mine Reaver.
Quite big, 20-odd feet long. This is an American aircraft, F-15 Eagle, dropping it. But there it is. And the point about these is that they are bunker busters. And the Israelis took them in 2005. They intended them to attack Iran when they were thinking of taking out Iran's nuclear...
Yeah, we did that with a computer virus instead called Stuxnets. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Bunkers. Yep. And big, they are very accurate. They've got laser designators on their nose. And the Israelis find that...
By the way, I like the way they showed what the nose is. There you go. The nose is that bit at the front, the nasal bit.
The Israelis find that this is the best weapon they've got for taking out tunnels and bunkers underground. They've used them before in Gaza. The important point is what we...
300 miles of fucking tunnels they got to deal with.
I saw in Jabalia, there'll be a lot more of this. If they're determined to take out the tunnels and to go for the bunkers, this is the only weapon they can use. It's accurate, it works, it burrows down about 100 feet under the ground, and then it explodes, kills everything and everyone down there, but creates an earthquake 100 feet above on the surface.
And they, apparently with this, they took out the guy who's in charge of their anti-tank missiles. Good! Given that both my kids are in tanks. The less expertise they have about that, the better. I 100%. And look, I'm sorry, there's collateral damage, but fuck you, mate. I'm sorry, this is war.
Through the ground, into the...
Exactly. It doesn't explode on the...
By the way, when I was on GB News, I called in Like, people didn't know it was me because I wasn't swearing enough.
Ground, it explodes under the surface, and it does damage on the ground. So what we've seen in Jabalia looks pretty bad. We will see a lot more of it if the Israelis are sticking to this policy, which I'm guessing that they are.
So, all right, Professor Clark.
So, as I was saying before, right, I totally believe that this is the end of days, that this is the war at the end of days. I think that we're into something crazy. Something crazy and absolutely incredible. I think it's going to end up with the Dome of the Rock going, because that's really what the whole Israel-Palestinian tensions have always been about. It's about the Dome of the Rock, right? The Dome of the Rock was built on the site of the former Jewish temple. There was 2 Jewish temples there. There was prophesied to be a third, and the third and final one that would stay until the end of time, right? And 3 times a day, Jews pray for that to be that come back. I think that's where we're going with this, right? I think by Passover, we might be there, right? I hope so. Anyway, I hope so. But I think that's where everything. But the thing is this, right? I was just talking before about how, like, my entire freaking town just could not care less about the laws of speech, which are central, right? Central. You know, why does, in Jewish philosophy, why does God give success and power to anti-Semitic violence, people who want to kill you because you're Jews? Why does God give success to them? Because we don't give a shit about each other, because we talk shit about each other. Essentially, it's a expression of the exile that we still live in. We've been living in exile for 2,000 years, even though we're back in Israel. The exile will only end with the building of that third temple, right? So why it's the definition of this exile, right? Where we are completely vulnerable to attack. And why are we in this exile? Because we talk shit about each other, literally, right? That's what, you know, our sages tell us. Because and it was done in the most public way, in the worst way possible, and everybody just pretended it didn't happen because they had egg on their face. Because they all said, well, he's the rabbi. When I said, look, this cocksucker's taking a piss on Judaism, right? But he's the rabbi. They all said, he might be a cocksucking rabbi, but for goodness sake, Jewish law applies to him too. More so, I would say. But everybody just swept under the carpet and pretended it didn't happen. Destroyed our synagogue, right? Now you just got, like, you know, the normies go there now, right? They chased out a bunch of people. Anyway. And I think that's why I think, God gives things, it's called Mida Keneged Mida, right? Back to you in the same way that it does to you what you do. And he said, really? You couldn't give a shit about your fellow Jew? You couldn't give a shit about your brother? You couldn't give a shit about him? So let's find out how much you don't give a shit. And I think October 7th happened. And this is what's happened in its place, right? In its way, which is this is unprecedented in the Jewish world.
I want you to see what you've done.
The tensions between the ultra-Orthodox and the army were massive. They hated each other. Like, if you walk down an ultra-Orthodox street in Jerusalem and in an army uniform, you would get attacked. Now look at it. Look, religious Jews, like super Orthodox religious Jews, making food for soldiers. United we stand, right? And boy, we are united.
I just got back from soldiers on the field. They're called the spiritual shachpats.
Okay, so this is something a Jews wear as an undergarment. It's called tzitzit. I got them on as well. Yeah. They're these things. These fringes you tie to like a four-quarter. I'm not going to go into it, right? But like, secular Israelis are all asking for these now, right?
The armor vest, that's spiritual. 200,000 are being requested through the armor.
Yeah, look, there's whole teams of religious Jews tying these things. It's incredible. And they hate the state of Israel. Well, they did a couple of weeks ago.
דברי תהיינה, אין דברים שלא מקובל.
me, this makes me cry. This is the best thing ever. I have never seen Jewish unity like this, right? I have never seen Jewish unity like this. You know, so thank you, Hamas. I wish we could have got there without being such massive dicks, right? I really do. I wish we could have got there without being such incredible arseholes, which we were. It's a bunch of other stuff to get there. You know, let's move on. Although, I don't know if this young girl's Jewish, right? She looks like she's wearing a Star of David, but what she's saying is atypical for Jewish girls, in my experience. And believe me, I like to be experienced.
Meal to cook.
Cook? I don't really cook. Like, I just like.
So you don't cook at all for your man?
No, like yeah.
I mean, honestly, you can get takeout. I think what she's saying is good, but like, I don't think she's so Jewish, baby. That's like honestly, getting a Jewish girl go down on you, not easy, right? Not easy. Getting her to make you a kugel, much easier, right? Much easier. Look, I've done a lot of first-hand research into this. Oops, come back.
I don't really cook.
Do you think that makes up for cooking?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yes.
A lot of yeah, I'd like rather like call Uber Eats for them while I like ask any guy.
Oh, you got your mouth full, darling. So you know, maybe let him call Uber Eats, and you suck the dick.
Right now, like, if they'd rather me or like cook for them, like they'd say like for me to.
So you think if we asked any guy right now if they'd rather?
Yes, it's not even close, right? It's not even close, darling.
Whether you kiss or cook for him, they would all say.
Yeah.
I guess they're gonna have to let us know in the comments.
Can't argue with you, darling. Don't sound very Jewy to me. I don't know what type of Jew you are, but I'd like to find more of you. I would like to find more of you. Fine! With that, let's get to the chat. Let's start talking about Doctor Who, you think. Hopefully the interwebs won't go down. Hopefully the interwebs won't go So I couldn't decide whether the right comes COMES or CUMS, right? It is a bit of a nerdgasm all over fandom. The new Doctor Who comes all over the iPlayer, causing fans to come over themselves. That is true. Disney Marvel by melting lack of the more you find out, the more freaking incredible it is, right? The more incredible it is. Now, can I get back the first 5 minutes of chat or not? I don't know. Probably not. Disgrazia. That's all I can say. Disgrazia. Lonnie is aging. Lonnie. The Sovereign is the Jeanette Jodie Whittaker music. Oh, God, leave us alone. Not Jodie. We're going to talk about Ralph C. Davis, talking about Jodie in a minute, right? Talking about the Chibnall era. That's a high topic of conversation. Darren M is here. How you doing, Darren M? Thank you for joining us. Lonnie on comics. I think I said hello to you. I'm pretty sure I did. Mr. Jacqueline Hyde is here. Paul Tosin is here. Who else we got? Been watching Trial of Time last night. I still love the series. Meanwhile, Chibnall's dissed it and thought Timeless Child was a good idea. Rusty Davis said he's keeping it. I'm not sure he's telling the truth. Right? That's pretty the bottom line. Maybe I'm just hoping against hope. Right? I don't know. Look, we're going to find out. It may be, if everything he's saying is on the level, this new era of Doctor Who might not be for me. Right? This might not be for me. Might have ended with Capaldi. And even Capaldi was, I like Capaldi a lot, but that era, is when the wokeness started coming in big time. Ethan Buckholder is here. How you doing, Ethan? Thank you for joining us. And Colin Archer here. It does make me wonder what Hamas and their ilk would do if Israel ceased to exist. Without their only real reason to exist, I expect they would find out. Yeah, they'll go break into civil war. Like 100% what would happen. They'll just break into civil war, right? Okay, so Frozen. I'm offline. Or anything about Christians using paper or libel against the Jews is the same thing was said of the early Christians because the Eucharist. Really? That's fascinating. Well, the early Christians were Jews, so maybe that time, it was still Jews, so they could say it about them. Really, that's pretty fascinating. I did not know that at all. That's really fascinating. But Ethan McConnell talking about the evil Jew mythos, and it's all based on that, right? It's all based that evil Jews came in and stole land. Total lie. Like, it is a total freaking lie. That just did not happen. Right? I'm sorry, mate. It just did not freaking happen. Right? Just in the same way, it didn't happen that, settlers go around, beating up and stealing things from Palestinians. It's just not true, mate. Right? It's just not true. I remember playing a game of Cthulhu set in the 5th century, and a religious group was described as blood-drinking cannibals. My first thought was, that'd be the Christians then. Well, there you go. Bobby D75 is here. How you doing, Bobby D75? D75 named after the Klingon warship. Is it? That was no, so D7, not D75. I think, right? I think. Man, they missed an opportunity there with Discovery, right? I like the very flamboyant Klingon design, right, at the beginning of Discovery. I thought that, and the religious aspect of it, and I would have liked that D7 ship would be like when a new secular revolution has swept through the Klingon homeworld, and that's basically where the war with the Federation came off. It looks like you didn't miss much of PD Rich. That is true. That is true. We're both the polarity. The polarity is very confused. It is true. Odious Starters is here. Well, thank you for hanging out, Odious Starters, with us. Nothing going on the screen. Jonathan Cox is here. How you doing, Jonathan Cox? And I'm back. There you go. I'm back now. PD Rich is back as well. There you go. Mark the Vicar is here. Every cloud. That's true. And Jody was disappeared once the rabbi returned. Well, thank God for that. Thank God for that. If only I can make it more permanent. But they are really, really working hard on saying the Jodie Whittaker era was a real era, right? I think they're saying up with that. Peter, it said, I think it's called What's Crap. Yeah, what's that? Leave me. And everybody uses it for everything. I can't stand it. Right? It's one of the things. If I had a magic wand and I could remove it from reality, I would, right? I absolutely would. I just, like, it's like another messenger. Like, they're all fine. I've seen the kind of thing in the Jewish community hospital radio. They always bully out good ones and replace them with the crap frat boy S jocks. So it's not even frat boy S jocks. It's my synagogue had the less ritualistic observant people were like welcome there, right? They were welcome there, and you have the people there, the graying, old, decaying founders of the synagogue. We got this beautiful central room, and on Sabbath it's empty, right? Because they will not let go of it. Meanwhile, we got a new room that was built to the left of it, heaving with people, because they look down on those people and they feel they're like, these arseholes who really couldn't give a damn about Judaism or anything about Judaism. Which is why they hated me, because I called them out on it. They just won't work. They won't let go, right? They just won't let go. I'm like, fine, I am happy to what, they got a new rabbi in, nice kid. I don't have anything against him at all. Like, I know his father. I think his father's a good guy. But I said to him, look, dude, we are like he said, well, hopefully we can all move forward together. I'm like, that's never going to happen. That is never, ever, 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 ever going to happen. The rabbi of the shul and his band of merry men took a shit on a section of the community. I'm the only one who still walks in the shul now. Most of them don't, right? They're never, ever going to come back without you saying sorry, right? Without you acknowledging that your shitty friends, your shitty supporters are shitty people, right? So it's never, ever going to happen. And I think that deflated him somewhat. I didn't want to bum him out. But I'm like, dude, that's just never. Yeah, I was like really straight with him. I said, dude, it's never, ever, ever going to happen because they think you're full of shit, right? They think you're full of shit because they think, because they've seen everybody be full of shit, right? Everybody said, oh, we're so religious, right? Not give a shit about the tenets of religion, right? When it didn't suit them. Bojo's getting his own show on GBD Live. Okay, and they fired somebody good recently, didn't they? Ukraine's over. Yeah, Ukraine is super over, right? And nobody's thinking about it, which is, for me, that's a good thing. Colin Archer says, As in suggestion, they will be restarting the season numbering for number 1 for shooting. Well, I think it probably starts with the anniversary specials. We're going to talk about that in a second. At least they'll make it easier to disassociate and ignore the series. Look, I'm still holding out to see what they actually do, right? D7 glass says Fly Highland. Digby Strawbridge is here. The Takuma thing in Star Trek would have been fine if it was just one freaky set of Klingons. I like the idea that there was a very religious Klingon world, right? A Klingon culture. And it just got like Russia. Essentially, Klingons were always based on Russia, and was it the not Greek Orthodox, Russian Orthodox was they removed religion from that country altogether, right? I think that would have been really clever, right? And it's a big shame, right? I think it's a big shame they did not do that, right? I really do. I think it's a massive pity. Let me just before I close all these windows. Should I bother saving them? I don't know. Yeah, we'll save these. So, 1 second. There's this thing over here. Here's the thing. Like this guy, Salim of Palestine. He's been every day is something different, right? And putting different like crisis actors out, right? And apparently the same thing with this guy from India, right? So why do you lie so much, right? That like why do they lie so much? Oh, and here we see again this guy. Just like, what's up with you and hating Jews, dude? Right? I just don't get what's up with it. So apparently he's been kicked out of Cornell for anti-Semitism. Good for them, right? Good for them. So anyway, fine. It's done with that. Let's have a look at this first. Video file. So the Whovember opened with its own Marvel style opening. Here we have it. So they had the Colcard in it. Colquillan. Who is it? So we got that's a Dalek eye. A rainbow. Oh, there you go. Quilcullen. Colorized Daleks from Planet of the Dalek. Power of the Daleks. Interesting. Do you reckon we're seeing a colorized version? And a Weeping Angel. Fine. So as I said, the Whovember has arrived, right? Hold on. Can I put this on without? I think I can put this on without putting on my VPN. I'm going to go bbc.com iPlayer, and we'll have a look. Well, yeah, I think it only gives you trouble when you start trying to play something. And we'll have a look what's on it. Doink. Share screen. So there you go. So Doctor Who 63 to 96. That's the interesting thing I found here was that when you get to the animations, season 4, I think we have a few. If they're done in black and white originally, then they you get the black and white ones. But they only have the color version up of the more recent ones. I will not watch the color version, right? I will not watch the color. But look, it's nice having them all on tap, right? And having all the animations. I think that's pretty darn cool, right? Then you got 2022. So I guess reboot number 3, like the first season of Doctor Who was in 1963, 2005, and now 2023. I guess it starts with David Tennant. So the thing people were like really talking about was Tales of the TARDIS. And I want to tell you, I liked it about as much as I like those intros for those promos for what's it called again? The Blu-ray range, right? It's very sweet. I like seeing them all come back again, right? They do reference Jodie as much as they freaking can, right? Like it's not really explained well, but they're going to do more. So what essentially these are edited down slightly versions of classic stories with a introduction and a close in present day, right? It's called the Memory TARDIS or something like that. Someone's watched Special in Paris already. Well, that'll be me. Absolutely. And I watched it to see if they gave it new special effects, which they didn't. I was surprised, right? I don't think they gave it new special effects. But yeah, look, I saw the intros and the outros. They're fine. They're cute. They're nice, right? It's in a sort of bric-a-brac amalgam of TARDISes, TARDIS control rooms in a tiny set. It just looks a bit cheap. To tell you, it looks a bit bloody cheap. I need to press the wrong button. They're all on YouTube, right? All the intros and the outros. You can catch them there. And again, this is nice. Don't get me wrong. Having all of Doctor Who at your fingertips is nice. I have it anyway, but this is nice. So the next thing they brought out yesterday was Talking Doctor Who. So I assume there's going to be another part because this was about the classic years. It went from 63 to 89. Ended up with McCoy's final speech from Survival, which I always liked, right? And I thought it was pretty good. The trouble was this, though. I was really bored, right? I was really bored because I've seen all these clips a lot before. Honestly, a far better documentary was more than 30 Years in the TARDIS. That was a significantly better one, right? And Doctor A New Dimension, that well, they don't have that there. It's interesting on the things in the Whoniverse. But yeah, so then they got the concert, which I haven't watched yet. And then all of Doctor Who Confidential, which this is one of the best things for me they have there. Like Doctor Who Confidential is awesome, right? It really tells you what's going on with at a particular point in the time. K-Line and Company, that's pretty awful. That reminds me though, here, where is this? Is it over here? No, over here. I gotta go back. Now, more Doctor Who news. Don't tell me I'm gonna have trouble finding it. Oh, you were so annoying. Really? Where is it? I did one of the few things I didn't bookmark straight away. So if I search for Liz Sladen, maybe will that come up? Like there should be a way you can organize these by time. Memory TARDIS, they were going to talk about that. Why they made Tales of the TARDIS. I guess it's to bring new people in, right? Like, why are these not in freaking order? Right? I do not know why. There's a new scene of Sarah Jane. What's that? Is this recent or is this from oh no. Doctor Placer Liz Sladen and Sarah Jane in a new scene, so this must be from Tales of the TARDIS. Yeah. I'm not really that interested. Hang on, let's see if I do a search for Elizabeth Sladen. If I come up with that article. I could do a search for Sadie Miller as well, I guess. There you go. I totally blanked this story because I was like, oh, it's just Sarah Jane from looks like K-Line and Company to me, right? Okay. No, this is Sadie Miller. That's her daughter. That is freaking incredible cosplay. That's the only picture we got. I mean, that is honestly freaking incredible, right? Absolutely freaking incredible. I've never seen her look more like Sarah Jane. And I wonder why Sarah Jane looked a little bit hotter than normal. I guess that's why, right? I guess that's why. Where is it? Where did iPlayer go? Oh, over here. Fine. So there, look, It's worth watching for the theme tune. Canine. It's awful, right? It's awful. Yeah, I'm glad that John Nathan had the vision for it, but it's absolutely awful. Dreamland and the Infinite Quest, both of these are excellent, right? I like both. I like that they're both on this. I don't understand why they're just not in the 2005-2022, like the animated extras. I really like both of these. I think one was written by Phil Ford. Then you got all of Sarah Jane Adventures, Class Who Cares, Torchwood. Do they have Children of Earth, you think? Sure, they must have. Miracle, man, they got Miracle Day. Give that one a miss. Children of Earth is the best one, right? This is the best Torchwood in my humble opinion. Class again. Delia Derbyshire. I like that's nice. The Science of Doctor Who, that was an extra on a Blu-ray. I think I've got Doctor Who at the Proms and Who's Doctor Who. So look, this is a nice, very impressive package that's not available outside of the UK. Apparently, Disney Plus will be launching Doctor Who with season 14 next year. Who knows what that'll be? I don't know how long HBO Max or BritBox has the rights for Doctor Who for, right? But that's why clearly they couldn't put TARDIS Tales on, because they're essentially classic Doctor Who, and BritBox has the rights to it, right? So not so much, right? So the also here is there. Let me see if I can pull up. Again, I'm only going to play stills, even though somebody put all these on YouTube. But there we go. Vengeance on Varos. Right, that's the intro. We can get away with that. I like the titles. I think it's kind of cute. It's like amalgam, and it's a thought TARDIS. We're going to look at that in a minute. But yeah, look, they got a mini Jodie there. We got a bit of Matt Smith's console. There's a bit of the Hartnell console. And so this is a memory of a TARDIS with all bits of, and look, it's done lovingly. It's done with respect. It just looks a bit CBBC to me, right? And that's basically the bottom line. It just looks a bit CBBC to me. And like, it's good that bringing more people, they're trying to find ways to bring more people into Doctor Who. I wish it wasn't just inside the UK. Hang on a second. Fine, what we got here? Children Need. Oh, fine, we got a Children Need confirms there's going to be a new scene with David Tennant. There's people are going to say that ties into the Star Beast. David Tennant won't rule out another return to Doctor Who. Well, this one's going well. Fine, so let's look at this thing. I won't unwrite. Was it? I won't unwrite. I won't unwrite Chris Chibnall. Here's the thing, and again, this is pie in the sky. I might be. Oh, I'm not showing the screen. There's pie in the sky. I might be completely batty with this, right? Completely and totally batty, but I still think he is. I still think he is. I think if he says he is, I think what he's going to do is write something so in headcanon you can somehow deal with all the continuity errors, the continuity destruction that was the Chris Chibnall era, and then ignore it, right? I think that's really what's going to happen. Like, they're going to completely ignore it and move on, but he's not going to unwrite it. So I don't think they're explicitly going to say, oh yeah, Jodie Whittaker was never the Doctor. But I think they're going to say that everything took place, or you're able to think it took place in the toy maker's realm or something like that. And I think him saying, I'm not going to unwrite Chris Chibnall, is so people listen to what they're told, not what they see. Weirdly enough. So I think this is a like a pretty I was going to say, like a, what's it called again? Pre-bunking. I think, yeah, when you debunk something before it actually happens, I think it's pre-bunking the erasure of the Jodie era, even though they're bending over back to say Jodie era is real in every way, shape, or form. But I think, again, I think to normies, they want to erase the Jodie era completely, right? And I think that's what's going to happen, mainly by ignoring it. But I do think there's going to be a line of dialogue. Returning to Dr. Shomron Rossi, they've said he won't unwrite Chris Chibnall's storyline, specifically referencing timeless children. Well, okay then. Look, that being the case, if he's what he's saying is on the level, this new era probably isn't for me. Like, I don't like the constant change of costume, for one. Look, if it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not. I'm going to review it honestly. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. Right? That's really the bottom line. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. That's really where we are. Setting rumors straight, he told everything. Let's stare that question right in the eye. I'm not going to unwrite my good friend Chris Chibnall's work on the timeless children. I'm not going to deny what he wrote, and I'm going with it. It's absolutely fine. Well, again, that being the case, and I don't think it'll be fine for a lot of old fans, right? Because it makes no sense in continuity, right? It blows up. It was done so poorly, right? Is he going to rectify it somehow that it works in continuity? I don't know, right? I don't know. I don't like the whole Tecturn thing. I don't like the infinite doctors, the infinite regeneration cycle. I don't like any of that stuff. I think it's weak writing. If he's going with it, I think that's probably it for me, right? Honestly, I mean, I'll still review it. I still love old Doctor Who, but I think that's probably it for me, frankly. I don't know. Look, maybe Shooter will be great. I'm hoping Shooter will be great. I'm hoping Shooter's not going to play it as camp as a row of tents, right? I mean, that's my my prayer, right? I hope he's not going to it's not going to be super camp, super gay Doctor, but actually good, exciting Doctor. Now, I think the David Tennant specials are probably going to go down well. People are rolling their eyes a bit at Yasmin Finney, but like, yeah, whatever, shut up, right? I think that's basically what's going on with that. Because people are sick. Again, we've been bullied, and there's been constant bullying, right? These 10,000 people marches screaming to treat Israel differently from the rest of the world, defacing monuments, like treating England like crap. I think people are done with everything, right? I think people are done with freaking everything, right? I think you can probably get away with Yasmin Finney, but like the more sexualized he wants to make it, I think the less chances of success are, right? And look, Disney, it's not like they've had a bunch of successes of late, is it? Right? I wouldn't go, yeah, Disney, they're doing absolutely great. So there's going to be a scene for children in need. That makes a lot of sense, right? That's very traditional Doctor Who. We'll look at the interview in what's it called again, in SFX in a minute. But yeah, I want to look at this story quickly first because it looks really cool. Kickstarter alternate universe of Lost Doctor Who annual for 2023. So is this by the same people who did? I mean, I love this. Is this by what's the name distributors? I can't remember the name. Help Kickstarter the alternate universe of Lost annual for 2023, starring Ken Campbell. Was it 2023? There should be 84, right? Campbell, a cult figure in British theatre, almost played the Seventh Doctor in the 80s. The Lost Annual 2020 offers other stories, facts, games. Do you have a link to it? We can look at the Kickstarter. As Dan Sumpton's statement says, this doesn't look like it's done by the same people as like the missing annuals. All right, it doesn't look like it's done by the. Is it? No, it's not. Ken Campbell. I mean, it got a nice bit of artwork on the front. But we could do with seeing some more stuff, right? Stop me if you think I'm milking it. The 23rd Doctor and the 5th Beetle. What's that? I have no idea. Kermit Leverage is the Lost Doctor. Okay, no idea. It looks okay. Looks okay. I mean, has he? What else has Dan Sumpton done? Should we look at his other 6 projects created? Let's see what else he's done. Okay, so fine. This is kind of a rip-off of the Terry distributor stuff, which I generally find excellent, right? I do find this excellent. Look, it looks fun. How much did they want for it? Let's have a look. Well, they're doing well. They got they're nearly at their goal. Okay, 3,500. How much is it? So $13 to get a digital download of it. £23 for a print copy. It's hardback, I guess. You get 6 copies for 123. Whatever. Look, I think it's a cute idea. I'd like to see more about it, right? Well, I do think it's a cute idea. Fine, let's get to this over here. Doing great cover. SFX selling out. Absolutely great cover. First issue, they haven't had anything in that I've been vaguely interested in for a long time, right? For a long time. So let's have a look what Russell has to say. And look, it looks great. This looks like the interior of the Star Beast ship to me. Right? This totally looks like if you look at the outside of it, then like the nose cone of it, this looks like the interior of the Star Beast. Yeah, it looks like they're spending money on this, right? It looks like they've put a lot of dosh into this. Fine, let me think. So we can't talk about the anniversary and the return of David Tennant, the future spin-offs. Sorry, talking about his big comeback, right? So here's a new bit of information I found interesting. He was back in the spearhead in the 60th special. The original press release just said I was doing the specials, Davis told SFX. I was absolutely insistent on saying, and future seasons to come. Seasons plural, because I said I said the future would look insecure otherwise. He's 100% correct there. He's 100% correct. So I inserted those words into the press release myself. Sounds very, very Russell thing to do. He's a man who cares and he loves Doctor. I believe that, but I think he loves like telling people that fringe sexuality is a good thing as well, right? I don't know how much has been captured by the woke brave mind virus. I think totally, but I don't know how much that's going to eat away at his talent. There's no wonder Fandom was surprised. A return was something David said he will never do. He says that's also automatic, though, in fairness. Even though I've been dying to do Doctor Who for years, ever since I left. It's so funny. I'd automatically say I'm not because somebody's in the job. You sound like an idiot if you on the sidelines and then you say, I'd love to do it again. Actually, if I did, if I did want to do it, I'll phone them up and say, can I write an episode? Oop, come back. One second. Can I write an episode? The truth is that I've been inventing Doctor Who stories since I was 5. So it's like, come back. I mean, I guess so. It's true for all Doctor Who fans. It's second nature to me that never stops. I don't think the stories for my. I don't think the stories for my job. I have this job because I think of stories all the time. That's what I do every single day. And he's very good at that, right? I mean, Ken, everything he's saying is wrong, but he's got a good back talent. There are certain stories we're telling in the seasons to come that have been playing in my head for years. Season 1, episode 1, is a story I'd invented the day I walked into Bad Wolf for our first meeting. I went, oh, that's a good idea. So the things I've been thinking about for 20 years and things I've been thinking about for 40 years, things I thought of yesterday. So what I'm saying is it never stops. The question then might be, why give up the job in the first place? Because he was tired. It's a lot of work. Oh, because I had other things to write. It also was exhausting. I was properly knackering job. But look at what I did afterwards. I did loads of stuff. That is true. I got asked to run to showrun a British Marvel show, but they said we can't tell you what it is. I wonder what it would be. Wonder what it maybe. Look, Marvel's a kiss of death. They're dead. They've destroyed the brand. Wonder what Marvel show, Captain Britain. You think? No, that'd be something a bit gayer. Maybe it's Secret Invasion. I don't know. To this day, I watched them. You won the few, mate, and I can't work out which show that was going to be. Obviously, planning to make it a British Marvel show that I haven't seen. Has that happened? But there's only one British show that held its hearts. That's Doctor Who, right? If I'd gone back to the old show with the old production methods, when we could have 13 episodes a year, it doesn't sound so bad to me. It would have been a retrogressive step because of the learning from that. The whole point of moving on is learning stuff. I appreciate that, right? I think I've always liked about Nick Briggs' stuff is he always tries to push himself to do something different and new. So when the BBC made contact with me, so it's interesting. He said he made contact with them, and then we were looking for streaming, and he would have a bigger budget. Part of the joy of me was learning how to work with a bigger budget. And look, frankly, in terms of storytelling, I'm not sure how necessary a bigger budget is. I thought the budget from the 2005 series was perfectly adequate. I know I'm not allowed to talk about money, but all the shows I've ever worked on, I have 1/3 of the budget. I worked on one show with half the budget. It's fascinating. There's an awful lot to learn. Phil Collinson, producer, has done Gentleman Jack with HBO, which has a good budget. But HBO apparently had a troll army to tell everybody else their toxic fandom. Like, all the truth comes out now, right? It's just so crazy. Equally, Jane Tranter and Joe Collins, also producers, have worked on the Dark Materials. I just found dull as ditchwater. I never got through the first season. Right? Looked very nice, but didn't really have a story there to grab me. Right? Which is kind of how I felt about the TARDIS tales until they got into the classic Doctor Who. The material with a bigger budget, so they're learning how to make budget cuts and things scale down. So it's very interesting. We come up with there's a lot to learn, a lot of passion, and that's good. By the way, the rumor is there's a jukebox in Shooter's TARDIS, right? I remember seeing that on one of the plans, but I totally forgot about it. At the risk of sounding sanctimonious, but I really mean this. We're going to do the show anyway, and I generally thought it needs looking after. Well, it was in the shit after your good friend Chibnall and his great idea of the TARDIS children, which is just fine by you, and you're going to go with it. I like, really, mate. I'm struggling to what I got to see what you're going to do, right? I'm holding out judgment till I see what they're going to do. I just much like the conversation, much like the changing costumes every week. I don't see how it's going to work, right? I don't see how it can possibly work. I'm open-minded, nearly a little. I'm still open-minded enough to watch it. So we're learning how to make blah blah blah. It needed looking after. Do you remember before Paul McGann movie materialized? There was talk of selling it to America, and there were rumors that we get a rapping TARDIS. Remember that? People said the TARDIS would have a voice and it would rap. I don't remember that. Potential spoiler for 2012. Of course I've done that. I do it very well, he jokes. We were all terrified of an international version. So in 1996, I got an instinctive terror of what... well, hang on. Oh, yeah, but Yasmin Finney. That's totally normal. Nothing to worry about. Might come. So again, I'm hoping the apocalypse is coming before the specials. Let's find out. So it was genuinely a need to look after the show because it's a very odd show. It's very precise. Its rules are very strange. Like the British Constitution, unwritten. We're just discovering how unwritten constitutions are deadly now. After 200 years of democracy, we're realizing how wrong it is. Are you saying democracy is wrong? Like now that Brexit happened? Russell, mate, none of this sounds good. Okay? None of this sounds good. I felt needed. You were. I absolutely did. That was the cover line. I felt needed. Fine. So fans needn't worry. He's going to be. He's not sticking around. No, he's planning season 3 right now, and there are plans for season 4. Absolutely. Who knows? Who knows? I'm not getting any younger. He chuckles when SFX asks if this is basically makes him the new John Nathan Turner. Fine. I love JNT. I swear I would have given him a job. I would have made him part of the team. He'll be head of international sales. He'll be doing that. I made him. He would absolutely. Yeah, no, John Nathan Turner was great at that. And he loved Doctor Who as well. I mean, he really did. That's part of bringing Mel back. Part of what we're doing for Bonnie Langford was to right or wrong. I think that's what a lot this season and this era is doing, righting the wrong of Chibnall. But I think he's keeping with Chibnall and just fixing it somehow. I think, all right, perhaps she perhaps wasn't done brilliantly at the time, but I think the memory has been a bit sour with her. And a bitter over character. I wanted to put it right, and have a better Mel, and a proper Mel, a Mel that John Nathan Turner would be proud of. So he's very much mentioned in the conversation a lot of the time. That's interesting, right? That is interesting. It's been interesting. Speaking of the past, Davis reveals that continuity did concern production initially. Tell me more. It's been very interesting. How much of the past can we mention? Is it a blank slate? Can you mention Tegan? Can you mention Susan? Can you mention anything past? And they've, Disney, been incredibly open about it. We're living in a very fortunate age now where history of the show is respected and continuity is respected. Well, up until the Whittaker era when they took a piss on it. I mean, look, let's just make it clear. The former rabbi, who I'm not a fan of, he did to my synagogue what Chris Chibnall did to Doctor Who, right? He did to Judaism what Chris Chibnall did to Doctor Who. Not good, right? That's helped, actually. If I can refer to a past enemy as long as I can justify it, like bringing back the Toymaker, I wanted to do it because he's from the 60s and it's the 60th anniversary. It just all kind of made sense. My lord, one of the most exciting days of my life was writing page 1 of the Giggle script when you realized how brilliant the Toymaker was. I thought he'd be a good villain. Then I thought I'd have a laugh at him. I started writing the script and I thought, this is the best villain ever created. So powerful, so funny, so dangerous, so evil. I love him. Neil Patrick Harris, who plays the Toymaker, he says, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Russell Liza, I think he'll be good though. He does look good in the role. Any such concerns around those arose largely before the show's new global home on Disney Plus was secured. He stressed. Obviously that was written before the streamer was decided. Bear in mind, a lot of this went in production. It could have been Netflix or Amazon. It could have been anyone. You could say any name that we went to. It's our job to get every single streamer in the world. One of them were very interested. So I'm writing this knowing no matter where it went, it would go to a bigger audience. So do you want to explain? Do you have to explain who the Toymaker is? Well, yeah. I mean, I've got to say it's in a science fiction setting. He's a great cosmic villain called the Toymaker, played by a big star, and makes sense anyway. Spider-Man could swing into an apartment tomorrow and meet the Toymaker and go, oh, it's that kind of villain. So it makes sense enormously. There's a flashback, let's say. Oh, there is a flashback to Michael Gough, the original Toymaker. Wow. Which is wonderful. It's funny. It's handled in the script. And the script's made and I said, oh, I remember the Toymaker, played by Michael Gough. So it's so very powerful memory of him. It's not science fiction. It is not science fiction fan at all. They're going to do a flashback to the original Toymaker. I like that. So we thought how are they going to do that? Oh, I'm excited to see this. So where we thought we could possibly be resistant to old characters and old continuity and Avengers, there's been none. As long as there's some nice clarity to it, they will ask who's this, who's that, but know equally that fans will come on board for that. It's been lovely. It's been really lovely. He does a knowing laugh, and other characters. ... Yeah, listen, I can't wait till we just get these special over so we can actually see what's going on. The festive special is very Christmassy. I wonder what day it'll be on. Famously, first special, The Star Beast began life as a Marvel comic in 1980. What made Davis want to revisit it? That's a great question. I don't think I gave it much thought. It just popped into my head, he shrugs. The whole point of the story is that Doctor meets Donna Noble again, so therefore it has to be on Earth, so therefore she's going to come across something alien. So therefore, if it's handy, she comes across one alien. She's not going to come across an invading army. That's going to ruin the story. So very quickly starts to narrow. I mean, I guess. Let's see if there's any Wild Blue Yonder. It's weird. That'll do. The most astonishing barricade you'll ever see. Interesting. Starbeast, a lovely, exciting family film, very Pixar-based, even before Disney got involved. I was going for that. It's like a bank holiday film. It's lovely and exciting and fun. An astonishing thing. Looks like a third act, but not a Donna Noble story. You would have sworn I was always dying to write that final sequence of events, which I wasn't. It wasn't until I came to do it. The giggle was absolutely epic. Well, look, the trailer does make it look epic. It's slightly over an hour long running time. It's only got one. It's the only one that we push over an hour, like 55, 56 minutes. This one's an hour and 1 minute. Okay. It's so full. It's mad. Absolutely adore it. It's David's last episode, so obviously there's no secret. That part's going to be fun. And OMG, we go for it. Donna's last episode, Catherine last episode. It's saying they'll come back now. We absolutely go for it. You'll get to the special, and you'll get halfway through, and it's 30 minutes, and you can't believe it's only been 30 minutes. I mean, look, I do believe it's going to be very entertaining, right? I very much believe that. And people don't like the way the Star Beast looks. I think it looked better in comic, but I think this is a good. Look, honestly, Star Beast looks more real to me than Yasmin Finney. So okay. Star Beast is very much ET in a traditional war story. So finding a pattern pre-existing with writer Pat Mills and Dave Gibbons attached. We're in an age of comic book movie adaptations. Little knowing that it was a Marvel product. Then we'll be under the same banner as Marvel. That's nothing to be excited about now. It's a great story. I was 16 years old when that was published. I've always loved it to this day. I always loved it to this day. You can say Star Beast to a fan, and they'll know what it is. There's not many properties you can do that with. And look, I'm looking forward to dipping back into the Big Finish adaptation of it, which I remember being quite good. Also brings its own complications for some fans. How can this version exist when it's already been a comic? But that doesn't bother me for a second, Davis says. Well, look at Family of Blood and Human Nature. There are two different. Oh, yes, there's two different versions of Human Nature, and they are two different versions. And I don't think there's been ever anyone that stand in the town center and sob because the sob. Because the television version has made the book not exist. They don't. They're very clever. They're well balanced, and they're different versions. I tend to agree with them actually. When we meet in a hotel in Cardiff Hotel, they're delivering the final version of the second special Wild Blue Yonder the following day. It's been an awfully long one to make. It's funny. It's one of those episodes that everyone sat there saying, I don't know how to make this, I guess. And guess how he made it? Green screen. What's this? The Laws of Time. Can you rewrite history or not one line? Given that Davis established a new Doctor Who mythos, Sans Gallifrey, prior to 2005, how beholden does he feel with established continuity? Oh, quite beholden, actually. It's I'm very well behaved in that sense. I feel completely free to make up my own stuff. But I think it's very interesting that only one piece of Doctor Who lore that's never been held aloft and run with Paul McGann, having a human mother. Thank God for that. None of us can deal with that. None of us can cope with it, and it's never been mentioned since. I think that what we're getting with the Timeless Children, maybe. I mean, like, he hasn't unwritten that. Was he unwritten, or did they say it was just for that regeneration or something? I can't remember. Can't remember what that was from. Was it Big Finish, maybe, or a book? None of them go with it. It's never mentioned again, and I find that really fascinating. It's not a hint that that I'm not going to engage with it all. It's amazing, isn't it? So everything else gets kind of absorbed. Let's stare one question right in the eye. I'm not going to unwrite my good friend Chris Chibnall's work on the Timeless Children. I'm not going to deny what happened. He wrote, I'm going with it. It's absolutely fine. It's canon. It happened. It was transmitted. If you can't unwrite things, that will be absolutely rude way to rude to a great colleague and a lovely friend. Well, I get that, but I don't think you're going to do it blatantly. But I do think you're going to do it in a way that fans will be able to watch Doctor Who again, right? I do think that's a genuine concern, right? I hope it is anyway. So where are we up to? Doing more laughter. Oh, did I miss anything? Hang on. No. There you go. I think Neil Patrick Harris is good as the toy maker. Nothing changes really. There's almost a danger of building up too much. Well, yes. It's a very great story. It won't surprise you much. It's great. It's absolutely thrilling. I love it to death. I shouldn't underplay it, should I? But if I fall into this pattern of going, it's the most unusual thing you've ever seen, you'll be sitting there and go, oh, I've seen that before. With the build-up of these specials, people in people's mind, there's been a lot of invention going on online. But I'd like to say right at the beginning, these are, he says, banging the table with each word, 3 separate stories. Okay, fine. Rather than one long story. Okay. I don't see why that's such a big deal, but okay. It's very important to say, actually, well, explain why, Russell. Explain why. You're not watching a 3-part story. You could tune in for any of these episodes from the start. That's interesting. Yep. Come back. There you go. From scratch. Okay, it's more like more of a mini season. That's what it is, a mini season. I like that. So is the Christmas special part of that mini season or not? I think it must be, really. No? I don't know. I mean, I am looking forward to seeing the Shooter's first one, right? Seeing what it actually freaking is, right, after all this time. Fine, where are we up to? There's, of course, a new full season coming in 2024. That's where the Disney launch will really be starting. Disney love these specials are dropping them. They're going to support them. But the massive Disney launch starts in Redacted with season 1. Okay, that's interesting, right? It's interesting. Because I think people are beginning to ask, why is there no big Disney push? And that's coming in Redacted. Well, I was indeed asking that, actually. I was indeed asking that. Fine. So we'll let you catch your breath. We imagine there'll be a collective gasp, clashing of anoraks, a seizing of Sonics, not a Series 14, not Series 40. Controversial. Davis chuckles at our geekery. Is this season 40? I guess, yeah. What fun it is to be controversial. At this point, Murray Gold walks over and says, "Go away." He's telling you his returning. He tells his returning. Time is money. I'm selling the show. I love you, darling. This is a nice way to seg into getting the old band back together. We all worried, Davis admit. We all worried that since the day we agreed to do it, because that's part of making the show. But where are we up to? But the person who was last on this was probably Phil Collinson, because he was producing Nolly for me, and I was thinking, Well, I don't want to take the production off my lovely show being made in Manchester. What a weird business position to be in. Daily, I was telling him of our plans, and he snapped at, "Oh God, I can't! Why can't I produce? Can't I produce it?" And I said, "Oh, all right." Then he roars with laughter. No, he's one of the nation's top producers. I did wonder if he'll be interested. If there was, fine, I don't really care. I partly assumed he'll think, "Oh, I've done that already." Once we asked him, once we begged him, to do it, he raced, and the production will. That production will. That was a great day. Fine, dark materials. Blah, blah. All that feeds into the bigger picture. What thrills Disney actually, not just the BBC, is to make it annually. That's absolutely a rare thing for streamers out there. We absolutely plan. There are plans for spin-offs, not ones that you've read about online all the time, but there are. Okay, I'm intrigued to know what they're going to be. It's taking us a while to get into the groove of production. There are big plans, and equally there are equally they're not too big. I took one of those other franchises, and frankly, I think you'll be spreading yourself too much. We've got to see how successful this is. That's the thing. I don't know if it's going to be great, right? I don't know. What's it? Countdown. The numbers have gone down all over the years, partly because it's so expensive, but I don't think we can make more episodes a year. But equally, I think the spin-offs will allow more episodes a year. It's early days. We need to work out production-wise how and when. Fine. So just saying there's going to be a lot of Doctor Who content. So I don't know. Look, what's this new era going to be like? I really don't know. Like all this sounds good and a lot of it sounds bad. I think that's a fair way of explaining it. It all sounds good. What did sound bad, by the way, I've just started listening to what's released today, this thing. Audacity. Right? I'm 5 minutes into it, and it's got the new Paul McGann companion, and it's set in the Regency era. And it starts off with this black noblewoman somehow telling off the Prince Regent. Basically, it's a stunning and brave, capable woman shouting at a chauvinist man. I'm so bored already, right? Honestly, I'm so freaking bored already. I'll give this whole set a listen to. I'm hoping it's good because the next one's Christmas stories, and I like Christmas stories. Right, but first 5 minutes have been freaking painful. Right, they are absolutely painful. Something that was not painful. I've been meaning to get this review for over a week. Right, Doctor Who Once and Future, the Union. So this is the finale of Big Finishes. Well, there's going to be a epilogue coming out, but this is the finale of the Big Finish anniversary event, which generally speaking has been very successful, I think. They had one real duffer, which was the last release, which had what's it called again? David Warner and Christopher Eccleston, which it was really disappointing. It was a real waste of an opportunity, weak script, and it just all kind of fell apart. Really didn't work at all. So this is the denouement. So the basic idea of this is the Doctor's been hit with some degeneration weapon, and he keeps changing into other Doctors. Now, I couldn't work this out for the first several episodes, but his clothes also change with it, right? And so you work out what's going on. But what this is, you put a bunch of Doctor Who elements into the mix and put it in the blender, and out this comes. Generally speaking, they're always frothy and nice. So this one you get to what's called the Union, and you find out who the big bad is. The big bad is excellent. I like the big bad. I don't want to spoil it because it very much is a Big Finish villain returning, and one that really makes sense for this, right? For this degeneration or that has been going through. Paul McGann mainly stars in it with a bit of Tom Baker, but you do get basically, I think, every Doctor in this one a little bit, including the 12th Doctor. Sadly, and really dumbly, it's played by Jake Dudman, and who He was fine doing narration of a 12th Doctor story. He sucks at doing the 12th Doctor, right? It's just not like him at all, right? And it really kind of drew me out of the drama of it. But it is fun with a bit of Tom Baker going into Paul McGann. Both those work. So here is reunited with Susan, who Paul McGann's Doctor has an ongoing thing with Susan. You get a bit the War Doctor in this, but you get a feeling that it was McGann Doctor that was hit with the degenerative weapon. River Song's in it, having another lesbian relationship, and it's just like, oh, everything. Can we have a story where we don't deal with somebody's sex life, right? That would be really, really nice, right? But generally speaking, fun romp that I would say satisfactorily ties up all the loose ends. I think this whole series is a recommend. I would skip part 6, but yeah, this has been as fun a celebration of Doctor Who as the 5 Doctors, right? Very much in the same vein as the 5 Doctors. Do we have a trailer of this? Let me grab the trailer because it's worth. YouTube. Doink. I'll download it. Go back over here. Where are you? Hang on. Oh, here it is. That's what I was looking for. Oh, and we also got Planet 8's trailer to look at, which I'm really quite into. Here we go. Fine. Now I've lost. Where are we? Here we are. Share screen. Video file. Excellent to play Marvel Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yes, I can't disagree with you. Yeah, I can't disagree with you at all. The Glums.
Oh, this is a pretty pickle. It's happening more than ever. Oh.
Now, I very much like this. What's his name? Michael Trafton's take on the second Doctor. I really enjoy that. And Stephen Noonan's first Doctor, always perfect.
Oh. Yes, whole thing. You feel it too.
Tim Trelaw's not bad as a third Doctor, for that matter. And it's interesting. I find the first 3 Doctors are the Rangers that are working the best right now in Big Finish.
My turn again. Oh.
It's happened again, hasn't it?
Intolerable. Utterly intolerable. Fighting it so long.
I mean, these trailers look a lot cheaper than they used to.
Can't hold things together anymore. The Diamond Array. I did expect more pizzazz, more glitter.
I've not seen the process close up. Dragged through your own timeline, your entire being, face, clothes.
Yeah, they really should explain his clothes changed right at the beginning. That was a bit of
an old, reliable.
Teeth and curls. This should be fun. Grandfather, what are you doing here?
So I will say Carol Ann Ford and Paul McGann is a really good balance, right? And there's been a bunch of releases they've done together. All of them worth your while, right? All of them are pretty good.
That's more like it. I seem to have found some stability. Ready to begin?
The Doctor won't hang around once he knows it's started.
Ooh, Jammy.
Oh, and it's what's the name playing the villain? Vicky, Maureen O'Brien. Like, want nothing to do with Doctor Who for years. Now you can't bloody show her up.
Dodger. Even through these old eyes, you look very familiar. We look out for one another.
I could watch you suffer all eternity long. And I will.
Now, let's see if we can't finish this once and for all.
Big Finish. For the love of stories.
Oh, well, Richie did try a good film. So look, I think this was a real success, right? This series was a genuine success. I'm actually looking forward to the coda. Was it better than Light at the End? Yeah, actually, I think it was. I think Light at the End was excellent, right? I really think it was excellent. But if you like Doctor Who, right? If you like Doctor Who, This one might be for you. I'll run through the releases quickly. There we go. So there's one more. There's a coda coming out next year. So the first one with Tom Baker, was it Sadie Miller as Sarah Jane? And again, do I have that picture of her? That's incredible. Genuinely, that's the incredible cosplay. Yeah, no, that's Sadie Miller. That's not Liz Sladen. Excellent. That was good. I found the artist at the end of time less so, but it was still fun. The first one was a bit more rompy. I just don't like the modern unit, right? But it had Rufus Sewell in it as a meddling monk, who I do like. Genius of War, freaking excellent. Oh, this is one of the standouts of it, where you got the Seventh Doctor going on a covert military mission in the Time War to get a defecting Davros. Brilliant, right? This one was excellent. Two's Company, not bad. Had an older, what's it again? Harry Sullivan in it with Jackie Tyler and what's it called again? Lady Christina, who I really quite enjoy. Certainly easy on the eyes. Then Once in Future, The Martian Invasion on Planet 50, excellent. These two are the standouts, right? The Seth McCoy and the David Tennant one, absolutely excellent. This was a bit of a duffer. The David Warner, Chris Becker, and it just breaks my heart because it was such a great idea, right? It really breaks my heart. And then you got rounded up on the Union. Again, I thought this was it's a recommend, right? It's absolutely a recommend. So probably this is their standouts releases of the year, right? Now coming next year, so I had no idea about, which I'm very excited about. New Planet of the Apes movie. I freaking love Planet of the Apes, right? I freaking love it. Now, if you remember in the first of these rebooted ones, was it Dawn of the Planet Apes or Rise of the Planet Apes? What's it called again? Can't remember. You had like a space shuttle that was lost, right? As a was it the backup? Sorry, as a subplot. So I would really like to see that space shuttle going through a time warp and ending up in this movie, right? So this is essentially a remake of the first movie. Was it Dawn of the Planet of the Apes? I don't really remember.
When?
So essentially, the first three movies was about Caesar, as played by what's it called again? Andy Serkis, very, very well. And it ended. The third one ended with him dying and him slipping into mythos, right? So now and humanity been wiped out by the simian flu, and now they look like they're devolving and they're losing the ability to speak. That was a plot point, I think, in the last War of the Planet Apes. Rise of the Planet Apes, Dawn of the Planet Apes, and War of the Planet Apes. So this is Kingdom of the Planet Apes.
When I sleep, I see strange things.
Memories?
Not memories.
All right, this is freaking beautiful. Again, I love Planet of the Apes.
New things. I see everything.
That is not everything.
So again, I find this whole idea fascinating. Of it must be a few hundred years later, right? And they, humanity has gone into memory, and you got the post-apocalyptic buildings. So this does look very similar to the original Charlton Heston movie. I hope those spacemen show up. like stuff from the last movie, like weapons and stuff. I am Cornelius, right? Yes. And look how much this references the first movie. Is that the same beach? This totally references the first movie.
What a wonderful day!
Yeah, that's getting me to the movies. That I will go to the cinema and see. That looks freaking awesome, right? It's Susan the Magnet and Mrs. Jekyll and Hyde. Give it time. Give it time, right? Rise, says PD Rich. Thank you very much. There you go. So there you go. I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Here, this is something I wanted to share. Let me grab this. Where is it? Now I've lost it. Yeah, if I go over here, maybe. Oh, I thought I had this open and ready. 1 second. I've got to find. There you go. Dan is on in 50 minutes. Let me share that with you. 3 weeks to go. I'm hoping that Rusty Davis is saying that that he's not retconning away the Timeless Children, because he is retconning away the Timeless Children. And the idiot Jodie fans will, even though it is retconned away, will go, no, it's not. Russell said so. Look, in TARDIS Tales, you got the Jodie TARDIS. They're idiots, baby. They're idiots. You cannot overestimate how stupid they may be. Fine with that, ladies and gentlemen. I will be back Saturday night to Boogie, baby. I'm going to be back at 5 on Saturday night. Now the clocks have changed. And we will see what fun and frolics we have to talk about then. I will get onto other stuff from Bounding in the comments. That's the thing on Saturday, I guess. That's basically it. Fine. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hit the end broadcast button. I'm going to hit it.